I believe it's very appropriate that we're celebrating the official nature park opening this week, and leaders from all over the world are meeting in Brazil today to discuss ways on how to save our planet. I believe the answers they are looking for are right here. They begin with taking care of your own backyard and educating tomorrow's leaders now. The nature park started as an ambitious idea nearly 4 years ago. However, taking an idea and turning that into a reality is a different matter. It requires a very special person to do that, and Arthur Ford is lucky to have found such a person in Sue Epstein. Please help me in welcoming our president, Sue Epstein.
Well, thank you for all the lovely things you said, Paul. But I've done this with a lot of fun, and it was a learning experience for me, too. 6 years ago, Tom Lacanican looked at this barren, wet, unused area that was once behind me, which can be seen in the display in the photographs in the tent later on. And he envisioned a nature education park. His goal was to recreate the original meaning of kindergarten, children learning from the garden. His idea grew from a project of the Home and School Association to the formation of a separate organization, the Arthur Ford Outdoor Educational Foundation, who was responsible for developing the plans laid out by landscape designer Mark Lalonde. An extremely dedicated group of people who shared the concern of increasing the level of awareness in children gathered each month over the past 5 years to plan each new stage of the park. It was the uniqueness of this committee, consisting of expertise from several fields, that made our task possible. Most importantly, I would like to mention Allison Ferguson, whose horticultural knowledge was and is invaluable to our committee, and who educated many of us about the birds, the bees, and the trees. Other members had business and financial background, fundraising experience, and just plain willingness to contribute their time and effort. These people should be recognized for their continuing dedication. John Emery, Linda McQuay, Jill Zubik, Diane Veach, Diane Ewer, Paul Quigley, Pat Sage, and Jerry Mack. The purpose of this park is to offer opportunities to children to learn about the world around them. With the future in the hands of these school children, this knowledge can only help cultivate a concern for the environment and enable them to address environmental problems already looming in their future. The advantage of having such a park on a school property is that children begin to appreciate nature and the environment at an early age. Wonderful posters were recently prepared by several classes, and a grade 2 student expressed her sentiments about the nature park in a poem. The nature park is beautiful, the flowers bloom each day. I like the flowers blooming, I wish that they could stay. I know it is beautiful, it makes me say, hey! The park, many teachers at the school have already incorporated aspects of the park into their classroom programs, using the park as an educational tool. Mr. Riley, Mrs. David, Mrs. Barnett, and Mr. Smith's classes, in particular, have contributed an outstanding amount of time, energy, and muscle power to the care of the park and special class projects. The Nature Park Committee has held numerous bingos, plant sales, Apple Fest, and other school activities to raise funds to create this park. To date, over $71,000 have been raised. However, it was the late Colonel Tom Lawson's initial donation which gave us the boost to get started. And we wholeheartedly thank Mrs. Lawson, who is with us today, on his behalf. The Arthur Ford Home and School Association, Sifton Properties, and the Ministry of Natural Resources followed with contributions which helped pave the way for our accomplishments. Maintaining the beauty and serenity of the park requires a lot of care and unfortunately a large amount of money. Although the students have a lot of maintenance responsibility during the school year, the hot summer months require maintenance by professionals. We are therefore still building our maintenance fund with a goal to raise another $30,000. It has been 3.5 years since we planted our first tree, and after overcoming many hurdles, today there are almost 100 trees and an abundance of flowers and shrubs in the park. We hope you will take the time to take a leisurely walk through the park. It's here for you to enjoy and learn from. Thank you.
It's not always easy or even possible to take on somebody else's vision or somebody else's dream. And I knew when I was made principal of Arthur Ford that I was inheriting not just the school, but also Tom McClenaghan's vision of a nature park, his dream of a true kindergarten. When I came to visit the school last May, the first place that Tom brought me was out here to the park. There were some tiny trees, lots of very small saplings, some of them leafless, some very little shrubs, beds that had wood chips. And I tried to look at it through Tom's eyes as he said to me, now this is the natural amphitheater. There's the arboretum. This is the bird garden, and this is the butterfly garden. On that day, the biggest thing in the whole nature park was Tom McClenaghan's enthusiasm. We live in an instant age. Instant coffee, instant replay, instant communication. Things happen overnight. The world changes rapidly, so it takes enormous courage and foresight to take on a project that by its very nature is going to take many, many years and will keep being in a phase of development. Tom, your vision has given not just the educators, not just the teachers of Arthur Ford, but we hope many other educators, an incomparable tool to help us in the really quite pleasant task of making the transition from the me generation to the green generation. And for that we thank you. The McClenaghan family have set up an award that is to be given each year, an environmental award. And this is an award to be given to a student who shows an interest and an enthusiasm, shows some dedication to environmental issues. And it's wonderful, Tom, to have you here on this first presentation of this award. And I would like you to come up here and present it. And the winner this year is Derek Vercake.
I've been asked on behalf of the foundation, the Nature Park Foundation, to make another presentation as well. And I guess when I look at the criteria for the winning of that medal, the gold medal, the foundation gold medal, and I'd like to read the words to you. That the medal is presented to a student enrolled at this school who consistently demonstrates an interest in the environmental and ecological problems, and who by precept and example inspires other people to seek solutions to these problems. That's rather a tall order. And indeed, we have a number of people in the audience today who in many ways embody those qualities. However, there's one special person, And this particular person is the first president of the foundation, Sue Epstein. And so the foundation has asked me to present to Sue a plaque for a tree that's already in the ground. It's called an ivory silk tree lilac, in recognition of the efforts and dedication of the Arthur Ford Nature Park president, Sue Epstein. Sue?
Ladies and gentlemen, today is definitely a day of partnerships. It's definitely a day of celebration, of working together to achieve something that is so wonderful and so precious and cherished by all of us. In fact, today what we're doing is we're celebrating the future of our children. With me is Heather Weiss and Joyce Bennett, your trustees. Marilyn Jocelyn would be here today, except her daughter is in the hospital having a baby, so I thought that it would be probably better that she was there celebrating with her family. Come up. I remember so well when Arthur Ford Home and School came to the board with a presentation, and we thought, my goodness, this is outrageous. How could any community group attempt to put in a nature garden? Well, we asked all kinds of wonderful questions, and Sue, of course, had every answer. We couldn't baffle her, no matter how hard we tried. And we thought, what a wonderful opportunity for the City of London, and in particular for the children. And we thank you very much for doing something such as this. It should be a catalyst, I hope, for a number of other community groups, because we can certainly benefit from something as wonderful as a nature park for our children. And we want to thank our own staff, too, because listen, things don't work without the teachers really digging in and rolling up their sleeves and saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's really make this happen. And thank you very much on behalf of the board.
Thank you very much. As someone that's come in late in this, I have to tell you how impressed I was on my first visit to have an opportunity to preview the book. And I just think it's a wonderful idea, and I agree with Cheryl. I do hope this is significant things to come, and congratulations on the hard work, and I think it's something that we'll all enjoy for many years.
I would just like to add my congratulations to Sue. I know how hard she's worked, and to all of the students and the staff and everyone in the community that's helped. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to see so many grandmas and granddads and other members of the community and future Arthur Ford students here. But if it's okay with the moms and dads and everybody else, I'd like to just talk to the boys and girls for a little minute if I can. I think that the one thing that I would say to you, boys and girls, today is simply this. There are two parts of the future of this country represented here today. One part of the future representation of our country is seated here right around me, and that's you. You are the future of our country. But also part of the future of our country is right behind us and what we're celebrating today. And my challenge to you, boys and girls, is that you take interest in what has been started. And I use the word started for you. I hope that as you grow up through your school and on to high school and then whatever you choose to do, that you'll not only remember today, but you'll bring your children back here, you'll bring your grandchildren back here and say that today you were part of the beginning of this enormous, exciting project. I would also say to our staff, and our staff means the staff of this school, I've heard a lot of good things about this school, a lot of good things about the community, a lot of good things about the leadership, but I've heard a tremendously positive number of good things about you as a staff. And so the staff that are here today, the kinds of things that you're doing in support of the home and school, the kinds of things you're doing in support of children in this community, I applaud you for. And the last group of our staff I want to acknowledge is Peter McElwain, our superintendent of plant. Peter, I want you to wave, and I want any members of your staff that are back there who have helped make this possible to wave. We really appreciate you and what you've done. Thank you.
This is a sign of hope that you've planted here in terms of this garden, and the signs of hope are all around us in the community that has gathered to help celebrate and has made it possible, in the kind of consciousness of the environment that you show through your songs and through your care of this garden, and through the kind of faith that we all are expressing here this afternoon in the future of this place, this province, this Canada, and indeed the world. So I want to say to all the young men and women who are here that you indeed deserve a great deal of credit for the signs of hope that you show day to day in learning about your environment, in being prepared to work to preserve your environment and to enhance it. And I hope that this learning experience will be one that you enjoy forever. I think there's one piece of education that we haven't really pointed out about this place, and that is something that I hope you all can learn, that however difficult a situation may seem to be, if someone has the vision and someone is prepared to do the hard work and someone else is prepared to make the commitment to maintain the results of that hard work into the future, we can change the world. And we need to change the world, both in terms of the environment and in terms of the community around us. So congratulations to all the staff, the students of Arthur Ford, to those who had the vision, to those who do the work, and to all of us in this community that we are fortunate enough to have you among us. Thank you very much.
I would now ask Matthew Dietrich and Dylan Zimmerman to come forward, and we're going to unveil the Nature Park plaque at this time.
Can I smile? Okay, go ahead, pull it off.
Our nature park where yellow sunflowers reach for the sky, red spring flowers and maple leaves blow, blue skies shed tears of joy, brown rich mud feeds plants and worms, green leaves of grass protect birds and bugs. A place to play, a place to be, a rainbow of colors for you and me. Welcome to our